story called The Gift of You. It's Dorothy!
It's just before Christmas. It's Saturday, 21st of December 2013. My boyfriend is working, so I'm at home alone. I go to the kitchen and make myself a mug of tea with a big dollop of honey. I put the heating up, sit down on the sofa and think, I'm going to review my life. I reach for the notebook and I write. Bought flat, check. Got the job promotion, check. In relationship, wow, I thought, that's a big check. I'm looking at the page and I cannot believe my eyes. I'm thinking, wow, I'm doing so well. My life is sorted. I closed the book and put it away. Forgot about it. It's 14th of February 2014. It's Valentine's Day. My boyfriend has just removed the last piece of his furniture out of my flat. I'm sitting on the sofa and my head is spinning, trying to work out what has just happened. But I guess I have enough of hard-hitting evidence. We have split up and he has just moved out. I go to the kitchen, I make myself a big mug of tea with a lot of honey. I put the heating up and I think, I need to review my life. I reach for the same notebook that I just wrote 2 months ago. But the proud ticks, the proud checks don't make sense anymore. The blank of the page stares me in the face, adding to the bareness of walls and emptiness of the flat. And I feel such a heavy sadness in my heart, and my chest is burning red-hot anger. I'm just so confused. What is going on? It feels like I'm putting so much effort into making my life work. Good effort. I just want to be happy like other people. And it seems it's working for other people, but it never works for me. Sooner or later, I arrive here, in this place. Somewhere deep inside me, I know that I need to navigate my life in a different way. But I don't know where. And the question how stings me into a panic. I feel so exhausted and painfully unfulfilled. I wake up next day, I look at myself in the mirror and think, enough of this misery. I'm going to start afresh with a new haircut. I'm calling the hairdresser and make an appointment straight away. Yes, onwards and upwards. But it doesn't work like this, and the heavy feeling soon returns. And I remember living for a month or two on this big burst of energy and positivity, and then literally falling down. It feels like I had to work so hard to keep on the surface of the metaphorical ocean of my life. My legs had been paddling so hard to keep me afloat, and I noticed at some point that I started to lose energy, and I couldn't find anything to replenish it. And then my paddling started to slow down, and staying on the surface became harder and harder. And I remember I started waking up completely exhausted. At some point I started sleeping in my clothes because I just didn't have energy to change, and I just didn't care. I lost all my appetite, and my kitchen and my fridge were completely empty. I couldn't exercise, I couldn't even think about exercising, I couldn't even think about meditating, I couldn't concentrate. It felt like all my self-care routine that was so important to me completely fell apart. The only thing I wanted to do was just to sleep. And then I literally started to drown. And the heaviness of my body just couldn't be lifted. And I started to spiral down into the deepest of the dark. I thought there was something fundamentally wrong with me. And I thought my life was over. And it's just before Christmas again, 2014, and I can't get out of bed. I look across the room and see my shelf, and somehow I see a book. It's been there for a while, I just never got around reading it. It's by Jack Pransky, and the title says, "Somebody Should Have Told Us." And somehow this title draws me in, and I reach for it and I start reading. The book talks about understanding called 3 Principles, but I've never heard about it. It talks about how we create the experience of life moment to moment. And I'm sitting in my bed mesmerized because it says that we create the experience of life through our thinking glasses. And the question hits me in my head, is this what's been happening to me? Is this that my depression and heaviness is caused by my thinking glasses, heavy and depressing thoughts, but not my life itself? And suddenly I'm back in the ocean of my life, and I can see myself drowning. But what I can see so clearly now is that there is nothing wrong with me. There is just nothing wrong with me. The only thing I can see is that I'm holding on to this heavy, big bricks and stones. And these are the stones and bricks that are dragging me down. Those heavy stones and bricks are in fact my heavy thoughts about my life, the people in my life, and also some situations in my life. And suddenly in this moment, like a miracle, the palms of my hands just open. And those heavy bricks and heavy stones just float away. And I see them floating away, and in like fairy tale, they turn in balloons and they just float away and disappear in the ocean sky. And in this moment, I feel that the buoyancy of the ocean takes hold of my body, and without me doing anything, I'm being pulled upwards. And I know that I'm being returned to the surface. The first thing I notice is the opening in my heart. And there's this yes that it's emerging out of the deep of my body, a yes to life. In the days that followed, my appetite started to return. And I noticed I had more energy. Suddenly I felt like I wanted to text people with whom I haven't spoken for a long time. Suddenly the stories that I thought and believed about them didn't really matter anymore. I just wanted to see their faces. Suddenly I wanted to go and buy a new dress. Since then, everything in my life started to fall into place. It's like life itself is a driving force in my life and not me. It's like I kind of taken myself out of the car of my life. It's Tuesday, 22nd of November, and I reach for the notebook again, and I write. I left my job and I started my own business. I coach, I train, I teach these principles. My life is filled with amazing people and I'm having deeply connected conversations with them. I love it. I married my boyfriend, the one that moved out. And you know what, we never argue and we have the most amazing relationship that I've never thought was possible. I move out of London and we buy a house and now live in a little village in Ascot. But there is one more thing. When I look back, I see that every situation in my life was just perfect. Every single situation, just a perfect gift. Just a perfect gift to understand more about me and grow more. And now I know that every circumstance in my life I can experience through my thinking glasses. And take a moment now and think what kind of thinking glasses you are looking at your life through. Life shapes us and reveals the gift we truly are. You are the greatest gift, and the world needs your gift.